Hey everyone, so today I'll be comparing the 3DS and the PS Vita. I know it's not my usual thing, I usually do phones, but I have not seen anything like this done on YouTube. Maybe I'm just really bad at looking for videos, but I thought I'd give a shot at it, so let's get down to it. Alrighty, so let's take a look around each device, starting with the 3DS. First thing you do see, of course, is dual cameras over here with a indicator that the cameras are on. Not very useful because cameras suck, but they do take 3D pictures. At the bottom we see a 3.5mm headset jack, a power indicator, and a charging indicator. And to the right we see the 3D slider, which is more prominent when you actually open up the screen. As you can see, 3D slider. And there is also the wireless toggle over there. At the back we have the game cartridge port, infrared port, stylus, and charging port over there. The dual triggers, left and right triggers. On the left side we see the volume slider and an SD card slot. Inside the device, of course, we have the 3DS nub, which you use to operate mostly, but we have a touchscreen display over here and a regular 3.5" display over there. We have a D-pad here and the 3DS A, B, X, Y buttons with a power button over here, home button, start and select. Up top we have a 3.5" display with a parallax barrier, so you can actually see things in 3D. It's not visible on a regular camera like this, but there is a 3D effect. I'm sure it's a pretty old device. You've probably heard all about it. Now let's go to the Vita. If we can get this back in here. The Vita, of course, let's start with the display because it's right out there. It's a 5-inch OLED display made by Samsung, I believe. Looks absolutely brilliant. Resolution, of course, is 960 by 544, so QHD for my regular viewers who listen to me, who listen and know a lot about phones. That's QHD to us. We have the dual analog sticks. The 3DS has a nub of sorts. We have actual analog sticks. They feel a little weak. They feel like they could give away if you hit it too hard, but I'm sure it doesn't. I've been playing around with this for quite a while, so it hasn't done anything so far. We have the D-pad over here and the XO triangle square buttons over there. We have the PlayStation menu button over here, home button, menu button, if you want to call it one of those, and start and select over here. So up top we have the game cartridge port over there and a unknown port over here. I'm not sure what would go in there. And of course covered by these very annoying little doors. Take forever to open sometimes and can be very cumbersome. Over here we have the volume rocker or volume controls, power button over here, the two triggers over here, and nothing on the left or right. Got the speakers here and here. At the bottom, of course, we have the charging port and USB connectivity port and 3.5mm headset jack. Alright, so talking about the overall hardware of the two devices, we've already talked about the PS Vita's display, which is 960 by 544 resolution, OLED, Samsung's awesomeness. Over here, however, we have the two displays, the top one being 3.5 millimeters, the bottom one is 3.5 inches actually, horizontally, and 3 inches over here for the bottom screen. The resolution of the top display, of course, is 800 by 240, and the bottom being 320 by 240, so not that great on the resolution side of things, in comparison, of course. The weight of the 3DS is 230 grams, and the PS Vita, of course, is 260, so a little heavier over here, but they feel about the same when you're actually using them. PS Vita is a lot longer than the 3DS. The PS Vita has a dimension horizontally of 182 millimeters, while the 3DS is only 134. Does make a lot of difference depending on if you have big hands or small hands. I have fairly large hands, so this actually is more comfortable to me to play with. That does not mean that it's better. I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can here, so that is a little more comfortable than this. However, as I said, the analog sticks are a little bit weaker compared to the 3DS, which I actually prefer the analog nub. Here it feels a lot stronger in comparison, and it actually feels like you can take a beating. Alrighty, so let's now take a look at the interface of each system. We have the PS Vita right here. When you turn it on, you're greeted to this lock screen. If you have turned it on for a while, this light here will flash twice and go off. And when that happens, I think it goes into a very deep sleep, because it takes around 4 seconds to come out of sleep, which is kind of annoying. Not that bad, however, because I mean, it probably does conserve a lot of battery when it's like that. So the interface here, of course, is very smartphone-like, if you would want to look at it that way. You got several pages and apps on the screen. You can arrange it in any way you like. You can also, as you can see, have a different background for every page, and you can get a bit artistic here with the placement of apps. It really doesn't matter, but pretty fun. When you do open an app or a game, let's say we open the browser, it opens up this little thing, and then you can start it up. Now say you're done with it, you press the PS button, and then you can start up another thing. But multitasking is limited on this, as it is with the 3DS, which we'll talk in a bit. But once you're done, if you want to close something, you just swipe that off. Pretty much like tearing a page, just like the lock screen. So pretty good stuff going on here. The pins, it looks like a bunch of pins. They look pretty nice, and I must say I was a bit skeptical at first, but it is a pretty good job. So if I can get this back in here, take out the 3DS. We're greeted with the preview screen on top and the regular app screen at the bottom. If you can get it to focus a bit. So we have every single thing you have on your 3DS just lined up there, very iPhone-like, in rows, and not really pages, but just apps. A lot of apps. It's all lined up like that. It serves its purpose. It's not very visually pleasing, but of course up there you have a display of what you're getting into. Although some of the Game Boy games over here we have, it does not show a good display. But the interface is very simple, very easy to use. It is very nice. And of course when you launch an app, say Pokemon Rumble Blast, you can immediately close this to put it to sleep. Open it, will turn on immediately. And press home. It goes into a standby mode, and you can launch your Notes app, the browser, or I forget what that is. Actually, it's been a while. Let's open it up. Friend list, of course. So multitasking is limited. Once it is closed, you cannot open another major app of sorts. You can just close it up from here, and that's that. Okay, so let's get right into what these devices were primarily made for, and that would be gameplay. So I've got the PS Vita here, and Uncharted Golden Abyss loaded up. Let's just continue the game. Right. It does try to make use of all the things the Vita can do, like the touchscreen, the back panel, which I seem to have forgotten to talk about. Right, so the PS Vita does have a back panel, which is touch sensitive. You can use it to do several things. There is the game Little Deviants showcases most of what it can do, and in Uncharted Golden Abyss you can use it to do that, to climb ropes or to get off of ropes. But yeah, as you can see, this is really quite amazing. Trying to play through the camera, which is quite difficult. But yeah, it's not as good as the first Uncharted, as a lot of people are saying. Like, the cutscenes are pretty shoddy. It's a little graininess. But I'm probably gonna die here. I'm surprised I'm not dead yet. Why am I not dead yet? Okay. I guess this game is more forgiving than I thought. Oh, okay, well, there you go. That was Uncharted Golden Abyss. A pretty good game, 10 hours, good story. Alright, so for the 3DS, we've loaded up Resident Evil Revelations. It is one of the later games to come out for the 3DS. It's a really good game, has around 10 hours of gameplay, just like Uncharted Golden Abyss. Well, the 3DS, as you can see, is limited to one analog stick, which can be pretty clumsy to play this game with. But it does add to the whole survival horror feel to it. But 3DS, Nintendo recently came up with this, the Circle Pad Pro. You just stick it in there, and it makes use of the infrared port. No other connection to it, so it's really easy to take off, put it back in. Well, scratch the easy. That's the first time that's happened, but usually pretty easy to take off and put it back in. Skip ahead. So here we can use the 3DS Circle Pad Pro. It's got this so that we can use this instead of that right button. And it's added 2 triggers so that you can use it like a controller, a normal controller with regular controller uses. As you can see, I can't seem to aim. I've not been to this part of the game. I've only played it a little bit. Can't seem to aim. Well, usually when you press this button, it aims, and this will shoot. And without the Circle Pad Pro, you need to use this for everything. It is quite difficult to use. But as you can see, this is pretty easy on its own. The nubs feel a little stiff. These 2 nubs, not as good as a control analog stick, but definitely feels more durable than the 3DS's 2 analog sticks over here. And it feels more mobile because there's a longer, it reaches further, if you know what I mean. These 2 nubs reach further than the the PS Vita's nubs. Wow. PS Vita's analog sticks, which have very, very small reach. so even the slightest touch will make it move, make it affect the game. But anyway, this is Resident Evil Revelations. It's a pretty bad showcasing of what it can do, but if you look at the graphics, they are almost as good. I'd say pretty similar to Uncharted Golden Abyss, so good stuff on the 3DS, and it's definitely not pushing it. Though I can say that the backgrounds of Resident Evil Revelations is not as good as say for Uncharted Golden Abyss, and it cannot, if you look at FIFA 12 for the 3DS, FIFA 12 for the PS Vita, it is leaps and bounds better. For the PS Vita, it's actually almost console quality, minus say Ultimate Team and a couple of other things. Alright, so games for the 3DS and PS Vita. 3DS games come in this. It's a bigger case. Has the game, and it's always, almost always in white. PS Vita, of course, almost always in blue, and it's a tiny case. It makes sense because the cartridge is only that big. But they're just the cases. The cases are the cases. What matters are the games. These are the two game cartridges for the PS Vita, as you can see here, and the 3DS. The 3DS is bigger, and I think it has a maximum capacity of 8 gigs, an 8 gig cartridge. While the PS Vita, I'm not sure. I don't think they've set a maximum cartridge capacity. I don't know if it could go up to 32 gigs, but those are the space limitations of each game cartridge. Alright, so as for final thoughts on the two devices, I'd say the 3DS is good. It's fun. It has a lot of fun games like Super Mario 3D Land. Kid Icarus Uprising is coming out soon. Even though it has Resident Evil Revelations, which is a more mature game, I'd say a 3DS is more fun oriented, which isn't bad. I really like the games on the 3DS. Whereas the Vita has fun oriented games like, of course, Rayman Origins. But it is more serious. The thing though is that the PS Vita is much more expensive. It uses prioritized game cards, memory sticks, which sucks because they're pretty expensive as well, while the 3DS just uses good old SD cards, which are cheap and easy to buy. I don't know what Sony's doing here. I hope they make a price cut for the Vita, and I don't know, price cut for these things too, because they're pretty expensive. It explains why the Vita is selling so poorly in Japan. I'm not sure why Sony's not taking the hint. They are pretty arrogant, even with their phones that come out one generation late. So that would be my ending rant. I say the 3DS is great, PS Vita is great. They're both really good devices. I think the PS Vita is slightly ahead of the curve. It's up to you in the end. I believe both systems are great, but the PS Vita is ahead. So thanks for watching, guys. This is new. I'm not gonna pursue gaming, that's for sure. I'm gonna stick to phones, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.